Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a plunge into an idea so fundamental, it might just change how you perceive. Well, pretty much everything. We're exploring this concept that we call reality. It might actually be a kind of dream.
A dream we've been taught to believe in. Since childhood, really.
Yeah, exactly. It challenges our most basic assumptions, doesn't it?
It really does. Suggests our shared world is less about objective truth and more like a collective illusion we've been programmed into.
And for this journey, we're drawing insights from excerpts of Chapter 1.
Right.
Our mission today is to unpack how we get domesticated into this big societal dream.
And look at the inner workings it creates.
Yeah, the mechanisms inside us.
Yeah.
And maybe explore if it's even possible to change our own personal dream.
Okay, so let's start with that core idea from the source. It basically says what you're experiencing right now. Maybe not quite what you think.
Okay.
It says your mind is dreaming, like constantly, 24 hours a day, awake or asleep.
Always dreaming. So what's the difference then?
Well, the awake dream, it has this material frame. That's the term used.
Material frame.
Yeah, it gives it that linear feel, like things happen in order, structured, not like the free-for-all of sleep dreams.
Got it. So the mind's always dreaming, just different modes. But it's not just mind dream, right? You mentioned a collective aspect.
Exactly. The source calls it the dream of the planet.
The dream of the planet. What is that exactly?
Think of it like the operating system for society. It's
Yeah.
this huge collective dream woven together from billions of little personal dreams. It's got all the rules, beliefs, laws, religions, cultures, governments, all that stuff.
Total structure.
Right. Everything that was already here, already agreed upon, long before you or I showed up.
So you're born with the ability to dream, but you don't invent the dream yourself.
No, you learn it. The source says the humans already here. They teach you how to dream according to the planet's rules.
And this teaching,
Yeah.
this is the domestication part.
Yes, domestication. Strong word, but used deliberately, like how we domesticate animals. The outside dream. Society uses adults, parents, teachers, everyone to train the new human mind.
How? What's the main tool?
Attention, that's the key.
Attention. Right. The ability to focus, to pick things out.
Exactly. Adults use repetition. They present information over and over, hooking the child's attention.
And through that hooked attention, the child learns everything.
Pretty much an entire reality. How to act, what's okay, what's not okay, good, bad, beautiful, ugly, right, wrong.
All the judgments.
All the judgments. And it's all pre-existing knowledge from that societal dream just getting downloaded.
And it's not just passive, is it? We want attention too.
Oh, absolutely. You quickly learn to hook others' attention. And that, the source says, leads straight to competition.
Like kids fighting for mom's attention or the teacher's.
Exactly. That need for validation through attention starts super early. And it sticks with us.
And language is the vehicle for all this.
Language is the code. Every single word is an agreement in the collective dream.
Like, we agree this thing is called a page.
Right. Understanding the code hooks attention. And that's how the energy, the information, gets transferred.
What's really striking is how little choice we had in the beginning.
None, really.
We didn't choose our first language, our family's religion, the morals we were taught, not even our own name.
We just agreed. We agreed with the information that was constantly fed to us through repetition.
So it's not just about hearing it. It's about agreeing to it.
Yes. Agreement is the core. And agreeing here means believing it unconditionally.
That's what the source calls faith.
That's faith. A child's faith in adults is incredibly strong. And that faith lets the belief system of the outside world basically take over their inner world, their life dream.
And even if you tried to rebel as a kid.
Yeah, the source suggests you weren't strong enough. Eventually, you pretty much surrendered and agreed to the system.
So the result of all this domestication
Is that the information from the outside dream becomes your personal inside dream, your belief system.
Okay.
It dictates everything. Names for things, how you should act, ideas about being male or female, and, crucially, how you judge yourself and others.
And the source compares this directly to training animals.
Explicitly. Using punishment and reward.
The classic carrot and stick.
Pretty much do what the grown-ups want. Reward. Good boy, good girl.
Go against the grain.
Punishment. A frown, maybe worse. Bad girl, bad boy. And this happened constantly. Day in, day out.
And that constant cycle, it must create fear.
A deep fear, yes. Fear of being punished, obviously.
Yeah.
But also fear of not getting the reward, not getting that approval, that attention.
And the consequence of that fear. This is where it gets really interesting.
This is crucial. The source argues that because of this fear, we start pretending. Pretending to be what we're not. Because we think that version of us is what will please others, get the reward, avoid the punishment, avoid rejection.
And that grows into the fear of not being good enough.
Exactly, that pervasive feeling, am I good enough?
So you end up becoming like a copy.
A copy, yeah.
Yeah.
A reflection of your parents' beliefs, society's beliefs, religion's beliefs, not your authentic self.
Your natural tendencies get kind of
Suppressed, yeah.
Okay.
Lost in the process. And the domestication gets so deep, so ingrained.
That you don't need anyone else to do it anymore.
You become your own domesticator. You do it to yourself.
Auto-domestication. That's a powerful concept. How does that look inside?
You use the exact same system, punishment and reward, based on that belief system you inherited.
So I punish myself if I write my own internal rules.
Yep. And you give yourself a little reward, maybe a fleeting sense of being good when you follow them, even if the rules don't actually serve you.
Okay, so this internal world, the source uses some specific terms. There's the book of law.
Right. Your belief system acts just like a law book for your mind.
A rule book.
Exactly. Everything written in it is treated as absolute truth, no questions asked.
And all your judgments are based on this book.
Every single one, about yourself, others, the world, even if the judgment goes against your gut feeling, your inner nature.
So things like the Ten Commandments or societal morals, they get programmed in there.
They become part of your personal book of law. All those agreements you made, consciously or unconsciously, form the chapters, and they rule your personal dream.
And who enforces this book of law? There's an inner judge.
Oh, yes, the inner judge, that voice in your head.
The critic.
The ultimate critic. It's constantly watching, judging everything you do, think, feel, comparing it all to the book of law.
And if you step out of line.
Guilty. The judge declares you guilty, and the sentence. Punishment. Shame.
Wow. And this is running all the time.
Pretty much nonstop for most people.
And then there's the victim.
The victim is the part of you that takes the hit. It receives the judge's verdicts. It carries the blame, the guilt, the shame.
So the victim is the part saying, poor me. I'm not good enough.
I'm not smart enough, not attractive enough, not worthy. All those feelings of inadequacy.
And the judge just agrees.
The judge looks at the book of law and says, yep, the victim's right. You're not good enough. It's a closed loop.
And the most important thing here is this whole system, the judge, victim, book of law, it's built on beliefs we didn't even choose.
Exactly. Beliefs we inherited. But they have immense power. They often control your life, even when you consciously want something different.
And trying to go against that book of law, it triggers fear.
A real physical fear. The source mentions feeling it in the solar plexus sometimes.
Like a gut reaction.
Yeah. Violating those rules, even thinking about it, it opens up old emotional wounds, creates what the source calls emotional poison.
So challenging those beliefs feels unsafe.
Incredibly unsafe. Because even if the book of law is full of lies and causes pain, it feels like the only structure you have. It's known. It feels safer than the unknown, even if the known is miserable.
Which means it takes real courage to question it.
Great courage, the source says, because you agreed to those beliefs. That agreement is powerful.
Even if you didn't realize you were agreeing at the time?
Right, so breaking the rules, even if you intellectually know they're wrong, still triggers that whole cycle. Blame, guilt, shame.
It really is like having your own internal hidden government with its own laws.
The judge makes the rulings, the victim suffers, all based on laws you didn't write.
The source also talks about justice within this system, or maybe the lack of it.
It defines true justice pretty simply. Paying just once for a mistake.
Okay. And injustice.
Paying more than once. Paying over and over again.
And how do we humans stack up against that?
Terribly, according to this view. Humans pay thousands of times for one mistake.
Thousands? How?
Because of our memory. You mess up, the judge condemns you, the victim feels guilty, you punish yourself, fine, maybe once. Then every single time you remember the mistake, boom, you run the whole program again. Judge, guilt, punishment, again and again.
And if someone else reminds you?
You pay again. The source directly asks, is this fair?
It sounds exhausting. And we do it to others too, right?
Yeah. Oh, constantly. Think about a mistake someone close to you made ages ago. How many times have you replayed it in your mind? Blame them again. Sent out that emotional poison, making them pay again. Is that fair? Is that justice?
Probably not.
And the argument goes deeper. The judge and the book of law are fundamentally wrong because the belief system itself is based on false law.
False law.
Yeah. The source makes a really stark claim. 95% of the beliefs we hold, the ones stored in our book of law, are actually lies.
95%, that's huge.
It is. And that, it says, is the root cause of most human suffering.
So if our internal worlds are built on this, what does that say about the collective dream of the planet?
It says it's largely a place of suffering. Fear, constant emotional dramas, violence, war, injustice.
Basically a nightmare.
The source uses that word, a massive, ongoing nightmare for humanity.
And this connects to the idea of hell.
Directly. Religions talk about hell, punishment, fear, pain, suffering, fire. The source equates that fire with the intense emotions that come from fear. Anger, jealousy, envy, hate, that burning feeling.
So hell isn't a place you go after you die, necessarily.
It's a state of mind, a dream of hell that we're often already living in, right here, right now.
And others can only drag us deeper into their hell if we let them.
If your own fear-based agreements give them the power to, if you don't have those hooks, they can't pull you in.
So our personal dreams often mirror this larger nightmare, filled with fear, anger, jealousy.
Yeah, ruled by fear, becoming personal nightmares, though they look different for everyone, of course.
But there's hope. It doesn't have to be this way.
That's the crucial point. A pleasant dream is possible. But what's fascinating is, even trapped in this, humanity is always searching.
Searching for what?
According to the source, truth, justice, and beauty.
Why outside ourselves?
We look outside for truth because we fundamentally believe the lies programmed inside us. We look outside for justice because our internal system is so unjust. We look outside for beauty because our judgments blind us to the beauty that's already here.
But the source argues
That everything you're looking for, it's already inside you.
we just can't see it.
We're blinded by the false beliefs, by the need to be right according to our book of law, and by what the Toltecs called the mitote.
Mitote? What does that mean?
It translates roughly as chaos or fog. The mind is described as being like 1,000 voices all talking at once inside your head.
Wow, that sounds noisy.
Extremely noisy and confusing. None of the voices understand each other. This internal static, this mitote, is what keeps you from seeing who you truly are.
It makes you think the programmed personality is the real you.
Exactly. It convinces you I am this collection of concepts and programming, and it hides the fact that you aren't actually free.
And hidden within that fog, the deepest fear. It isn't death.
No. The source claims our biggest fear isn't dying. It's taking the risk to be truly alive, to express who we actually are.
Being ourselves is the scariest thing.
For most people, yes. Deep down.
And it ties right back to the domestication process.
Absolutely. We learned early on to suppress our real selves and live by what others wanted, what they thought, all because of that fear.
Fear of not being accepted, fear of not being good enough.
Those core fears, driven by the standards set during domestication.
And during that process, we create this ideal for ourselves, the image of perfection.
Yes. We build this completely unreal picture of who we think we should be to finally be good enough to be loved, especially by our parents, teachers, role models.
But it's impossible to live up to.
Totally impossible. It's not real.
And because we fail to meet this impossible standard, we reject ourselves.
That's the devastating outcome. Self-rejection. Because you don't match the fake image. You reject the real you.
And the level of that rejection depends on how intense the domestication was.
How effectively the adults broke our integrity, as the source puts it. How deeply they programmed that flawed ideal. So we can't forgive ourselves for not being this perfect fake thing.
That sounds awful. Feeling false, frustrated.
Dishonest. You hide your real self, wear masks. You're terrified someone will see you aren't who you pretend to be.
And you judge others by that same impossible standard.
You do. And you dishonor yourself constantly, trying to get approval from others.
The source even links things like addiction or risky behavior in teens.
Not primarily to peer pressure, but to that deep self-rejection. Using substances or whatever to escape the pain of not accepting yourself, trying to fit in because you don't feel okay as you are.
Which leads us to self-abuse.
Nobody abuses you more than you abuse yourself. That's a direct quote, essentially. Driven by the judge, the victim, the book of law.
And here's that really stark idea. The limit of abuse you take from others
is the limit of the abuse you inflict on yourself.
Wow. So if your internal judge is constantly beating you up,
then someone outside doing slightly less might seem tolerable, even acceptable.
Because it matches your internal reality.
Exactly. If your belief system says deep down, I deserve this, I'm worthless, I'm not good enough, then you might tolerate terrible treatment from others because, sadly, it resonates with your own self-assessment.
So the self-abuse, the self-rejection, it all comes from that lack of self-love,
Yeah,
rooted in trying to be that impossible image of perfection.
right. More self-love equals less self-abuse. Acceptance of yourself, flaws and all, and accepting others. It requires moving beyond that fake image.
Okay, this feels like we've really dissected the problem.
Hmm.
This whole system built on agreements, leading to fear, internal conflict, this collective dream that feels like hell.
It's a heavy picture, but the source doesn't just leave us there in despair.
No, it offers a path forward, a prelude to a new dream.
It circles back to the agreements. We have thousands of them. But the most important ones are the agreements we made with ourselves.
The ones defining who we think we are, what we believe, what we think is possible for us.
And the big problem is that the agreements based on fear are incredibly costly.
Costly how?
They drain your energy, your personal power, as the source calls it. They cause suffering, and maintaining them takes huge effort.
Personal power, like life force, something we have naturally.
Born with it, rebuild it daily through rest. But the source says most of it gets spent just maintaining all those old fear-based agreements.
Keeping up the pretense, feeding the judge and victim, enforcing the book of law.
All of it. It takes massive energy, so much that often there's only just enough left for basic survival.
Which is why we feel powerless to change things.
Exactly. That constant energy drain makes us feel stuck, unable to change our life dream, even in small ways.
Okay, so if we don't like the dream we're living, the one ruled by these draining, fear-based agreements, what do we do?
The answer is simple conceptually. Change the agreements.
Simple to say.
Harder to do, for sure. But the mechanism is key. When you break an agreement that was based on fear,
You get the energy back.
you get the power back. The power that was tied up in creating and maintaining that agreement returns to you.
And the source hints at a way to really kickstart this.
Yes. It mentions there are 4 very powerful agreements. It doesn't list them in this excerpt, but it says, adopting them can generate enough personal power to change the entire system of old, limiting agreements.
That sounds transformative.
It's presented as requiring strong will, real commitment, but the potential payoff is huge. The drama of hell, that internal and external suffering, can actually start to fade away.
As you reclaim your power.
And you can then use that reclaimed energy, that power, to consciously create a new dream, your own dream, a personal dream of heaven, as the source puts it.
Wow. So we've gone from reality as a programmed dream through domestication, the judge, the victim, the book of law, the suffering.
All the way to seeing it's built on agreements we can change. And that by changing them, reclaiming our power, we can potentially dismantle that internal nightmare.
And consciously create something new, something joyful.
A new personal dream.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How much of that inner voice, the way you see the world, the limits you feel, how much is just old programming you agreed to, maybe without even realizing it?
Information you absorbed as a child, possibly out of fear, not conscious choice as an adult. How does that resonate with your own inner world, your internal chatter?
And that final thought from the source, that our deepest fear isn't death, but the risk of being truly alive, truly ourselves.
It leaves you with a powerful question. What core agreements, what specific beliefs from your book of law are holding you back from taking that risk, from being fully authentically yourself? And what could change if you started to challenge just one of them?